Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now, if you have been on the Ark train recently, you've probably seen it, but Ragnarok Ascended is finally here and oh my god, it looks incredible. But with this brand new visual coat of paint, now is the perfect time to jump into the map and start fresh, which brings me to today's video. We're going over 10 creatures you need to tame if you want to survive, thrive, and dominate Ragnarok Ascended. Now, this isn't a top 10 or a ranking, it's a well-rounded list of essential creatures for different phases of the game. Whether you're looking to explore, fight bosses, gather resources, or just want to stay warm at night, there's something here for every survivor. But guys, if you do enjoy this sort of content and you want to see more Ark guides, breakdowns, or just straight up rambling from me, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more. But enough of the intro, let's get right into it. Let's start with the one everyone's probably got their eye on already, the Griffin. This majestic skyline has always been one of the best flyers in Ark, but now in Ascended it's had a serious glow up, and not in terms of looks, like yeah, of course it has been upscaled, but it is now, of course, breedable. That completely changes how useful this thing is. No longer is it a solo tame with one life to live. Now you can raise imprinted griffins, breed for mutations, and create very OP entire bloodlines. Speaking of which though, the dive bomb is still what makes the griffin stand out. It's fast, it's satisfying, and it lets you cover huge distances on Ragnarok's massive maps in seconds. Whether you are wandering in the Wyvern Trench for eggs or just traveling between biomes, nothing quite matches it. The best part as well is that you can actually still shoot from the back while riding it, which is quite unique, especially as a flyer. That means taming Quetzals, sniping from the sky, and basically doing anything you want without needing a passenger. If you want a very well versatile flyer, definitely go for this one. Next up though is the Thylacoleo. If you've ever been ripped off your mount in the redwoods from this guy, you already know how nasty these things can be in the wild, but when they are on your side, they are a total game changer. Ragnarok Ascended's redwoods are dense, dangerous, and vertical, and that's exactly where the Thyla shines. Its ability to climb cliffs and trees means you can scale otherwise inaccessible areas and take shortcuts other dinos could only dream of. In terms of combat though, it is a beast. The bleed attack chews through anything that dares stand still for too long, and its base damage as well is pretty good. It's fast, tanky, and can hold its own in caves, PvP, and exploration alike. And because, let's be honest, Ragnarok's terrain is so varied, namely snowy peaks, redwood forests, and of course canyon systems, having a land mount that can move smoothly across all of it is definitely worth its weight. The only tough part is though taming it. They are up in the trees, so you do have to shoot it down, but once it's down though, you'll never go back. Let's move over though to the Baryonyx, and if you're doing caves, you already know where I'm going with this. The Baryonyx is the ultimate early to mid-game cave mount. It's small enough to fit through almost every entrance, but still it packs enough punch to deal with threats inside. The real magic though is in its stun attack underwater. Now Ragnarok Ascended has a ton of rivers, lakes, swamps, and underwater cave systems, and this is where the Barry becomes invaluable. That spin in water stuns everything from Sarcos to Megalodons and lets you control the fight like a professional. It's also fast, agile, and easy to tame if you do know where to look. Once you've got one though, you will realize quickly how versatile it is. From caving to travel to taking out annoying predators on the beach, the Baryonyx gets it done. Up next is the Mantis. You'll find them out in the desert and around the Wyvern Trench, but once tamed, they become one of the most versatile tames in the game. You can equip them with swords, picks, clubs, and pretty much anything else, and they'll use it with lethal efficiency depending on their melee stat. I personally use them to harvest mutton or even element nodes on extinction. Ragnarok has an insane amount of Ovis in the highlands, and nothing farms them better or faster than a Mantis with a good pickaxe, but it doesn't stop there. Slap on a couple of metal hatchets and they become one of the best harvesters in the game, tearing through trees, rocks, or corpses with ease. The only weakness is the health is a little bit minimal, but if you do mutate the stat, they can be an absolute beast. Now, no must-tame list would be complete without the Argentavis. This bird has been a staple since the early days of Ark, and on Ragnarok Ascended, it still holds up. The added terrain makes this version of the map even more vertical, even more mountainous, and is more spread out than ever before. Having a flyer that can pick up medium-sized dinos like the Anki or Dodic and has weight reduction for metal, crystal, and obsidian is extremely convenient. Its saddle also functions as a mobile smithy. You kill something, harvest some hide, grab a bit of metal, and you're crafting on the spot. It might not be as fast as a Pteranodon, it is actually really slow, but it does make up for it in utility and stamina. And in a pinch, the Argy can fight. It's tanky, heals off corpses, and with a decent melee stat, it'll hold its own in aerial combat or against land-based threats. In short, it's the workhorse of your early to mid game. Let's bring it back down to the ground though for a second with the Equus. It's not flashy, it's not a boss killer certainly, but if you are starting out fresh on Ragnarok Ascended, this thing is a godsend. The Highlands are still one of the best spawn zones on the map, flat, open, full of herbivores, and absolutely crawling with Equus. And when you find one, the taming process couldn't be simpler. Just grab some of the spawned vegetables on the surface of the Highland farms and sneak up and feed it. Once tamed, the Equus gives you something no other early game mount does, built-in torpor. That back kick delivers trank damage, meaning you can actually use it to tame your next tame, without even crafting a bow or darts. Also, much like the RG, it has a crafting station, this time in the form of a mortar and pestle built into the saddle. So instead of setting up a base just to make narcotics, you can do it on the go. It's fast, nimble, and gets you away from danger early game, and honestly for such a humble early game tame, it actually brings a lot to the table. Now, speaking of the Highlands, we've got to talk about Ovis. They are everywhere on Ragnarok, and they are, without exaggeration, the best source of taming food in the entire game. Other than kibble, of course. One sheep gives you enough mutton to tame almost any carnivore. The only problem though is that they spoil fast. Like brutally fast. But that is where taming them comes in. Get a male and a female, breed them at your base, and you've now got a mutton farm on standby. No more racing across the Highlands praying for a wild Ovis to spawn. And of course, as alluded to earlier, with a mantis you can harvest them cleanly and quickly. It's a bit dark for sure, the vegans will not be a fan of this, but in Ark you have to be practical. If you're planning to tame anything meat hungry, you will definitely want a pen full of these guys. Now let's take it underwater for a second. One creature stands out for sheer utility, the Dunkleosteus. It's slow, it is clunky, its turning circle isn't the best either, but it gathers like an absolute beast. One bite and you're pulling in ridiculous amounts of metal, obsidian, and even oil. If your base is near the coast or you're setting up underwater, this thing is a must. Think of it as the Anki of the sea, but it actually gets more metal than an Anki. It's not winning any races by any means, but it will save you hours of gathering time once you get it going. Plus it's quite tanky, so if you are heading into the deeper waters with Moses and giant squids around, you do have a fighting chance of surviving the trip home. Now let's talk bosses, and for that you're going to need a Tyrannus. Having a UT is practically mandatory, namely the Courage Roar boosts the damage output and resistance of your entire army. Just make sure your UT has enough stamina to keep up with the demands. Even outside of boss fights, the UT is solid. Taming one is a bit of a hassle as they are often in cold, dangerous areas, and the Roar can send your own tames fleeing if you're not careful. But once you have got it, it becomes one of the most important utility creatures in your roster. And finally, the Humble Otter. It might not be flashy, it won't win you any fights per se of course, unless you mutate it to death, but it might just save your life more times than anything else on this list. Otters provide insulation, massive insulation, which is incredibly important if you're exploring the snowy regions of Ragnarok, which are insanely cold. But what really makes the otter a hidden gem is its ability to carry multiple artifacts. That's right, you can load this guy up with artifacts from your cave runs and save yourself multiple trips. Sure, weight is still of course a factor, but it does offer excellent utility in this area. Plus it sits on your shoulders, looks adorable, and makes you feel like you're never exploring alone. What's not to love? And that's the list. 10 creatures you need to tame in Ark Ragnarok Ascended. These tames have covered everything from travel and gathering to survival and combat. This version of the map is absolutely stunning, and now's the perfect time to tame some of these guys. If you have found this video helpful guys, like it, and if you do want more Ark content like this, from tips to full breakdowns, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Take care.